Yeah, good morning, everyone. Uh, Yesterday we saw US market remaining sideways or marginally down, whereas the futures are positive. And even today morning, Asian markets are showing positive trend. Most of the markets are up in the morning trade. And if you see the commodity, oil has moved up very sharply from yesterday same time level of around $80. Now it is at around 82.7. So that has moved sharply and can have some positive impact on ONGC, Oil India, HOEC, and some minor negative impact even on paints company also. Apart from that, aluminum is continuing its movement. Yesterday it was also up, and today also it is up by around another 2% in expectation of higher shortage of aluminum in the coming year. Apart from that, copper is down by around 0.6%, iron ore is flat, and steel is up by around 1%. Sugar has in the international market has hit 6-month low. It is at around 18.23, 18.15 level in international market. This may not have immediate impact on Indian market, as out of the expected export of around 5 to 5.5 million ton by Indian mills, almost 3.5 they had already booked. So another around 1.5 to 2 million ton they need to book it for export, and they have sufficient time. The sugar season starts from September and goes up, starts from October and goes up to September. So they have still 9 months to do that balance export. So may not have much impact. But if suppose the sugar price is sustained at a lower level, then the export will become a difficult, and mills will start selling into the domestic market, and which can have some problem in the prices. The sugar prices, since the crushing is already on, and new fresh sugars are coming up, so weaker mills are eager to sell faster to realize the case, and that's why the sugar price is right now at around 34.5, which were at around 37 rupees around 3 months back. So what we see that Q2 results of the sugar companies are likely to be better, mainly on account of the higher volume, since the crushing season this year started bit early. So they will be having around 5 to 6% higher volume of sugar, and similarly higher volume of ethanol as well. And even the realization, if we compare it with the last year, which was at around 32 rupees or 33 rupees, in between that, the right now average realization will be somewhere around 35.5 for the last quarter. So that will have a positive impact on the sugar company's results. Apart from that, even if we see in this quarter, sugar mill will be selling the sugar of the uh, previous quarter, that is the sugars which is in inventory, where the cost of production is comparatively lesser than the current year, because this current year SAP of cane has been increased by the UP government. So that will be getting reflected in the coming quarter, but this quarter will not have that reflection. As such, the results of the Q2 will be good. So for the near term outlook is positive, but we'll need to watch, keep a watch on this international sugar prices as well. Now I'll request technical team to take up from here.
Yes, sir. Good morning, all of you. Yesterday market witnessed in sharp decline after four trading session rise. We see profit booking in IT, reality, and banking sector. Today we expect flattish open and Nifty trading near the support zone. Yesterday is managed to sustain above 17,700 level, and today intraday important support zone is 17,700. If Nifty break that level, then we expect further decline towards 17,600 and 17,550 level at downside. Upside Nifty immediate resistance place around 17,830 and 17,900 in next important resistance for Nifty. Bank Nifty also seen some profit booking in higher range. We are trading above the important average, that is 50 DMA around 37 to 50 range. To next important support zone for Bank Nifty 37,300 to 37,250 at downside. If Bank Nifty break that level, then we expect further pressure towards 3700 and below level, that is 36,700 at downside. Upside immediate resistance place around 38,000. Do we expect today both index open a flattish note but remain a sideways day? But important support zone is break, then we expect further selling pressure towards next important support zone. Nifty Finance also trading near the support zone, and that support zone plays around 17,970 level. And we break that level, then we expect further pressure towards 17,900, and upside 18,100 is next important resistance for Nifty Finance. In stock specific, National Aluminum looks positive at current level. We already given call at this same level. Upside, we expect target around 114. Downside 100 and 100 is an important support zone for National Aluminum. No Steel also looks positive at current level. We expect upside around 260 and 270 in upside level. So we expect this positive side, and we see some pressure today also in banking, SDFC, ICICI, and Axis, but they are all three bank trading near the support zone. ICICI Bank's important support zone place around 774. So right now trading 785. So we can expect it retrace towards 770 and 75 range. But then again, we expect take a bounce back at that level. You can keep watch this important support level for ICICI Bank. That's it for technical territory guidance.
Yeah, thank you, Vikas. Good morning, everyone. So, as I mentioned in yesterday's trading session, that once Nifty comes around 17,750, level, then buying should be initiated, as Nifty was having a major support at 17,700 to 650 levels. Once if Nifty goes below 17,650 level, as per the OI position, then we might witness some sell-off towards 17,500 to 400 level, as we were seeing in yesterday's trading session at 17,400 and 17,700 striker put at the positions are getting added up. So for intraday session, 17,700 will act as an important support, and also for the weekly closing 17,700 will act as an important supportive zone. On the higher end, we are seeing at 17,800 and 18,000 striker call writer positions are getting added up. So once if Nifty manages to give a break of 17,800 level in today's trading session, then a new fresh buying can be initiated for upside level of 17,950 to 18,000 levels. So keep a watch on these strikes. As you are seeing that PCROI yesterday closed at 1.22 levels, so still PCROI is showing a positive strength in the market. While the another cautious sign in the market is India VIX. India VIX in yesterday's session again gave a rise of 4.35% and gave close at 17.98% at 17.98 level. So once if India VIX goes above 18.5 level, then only you need to be cautious. Once if India VIX goes above 18.50 level, then get to your long positions to be some profit booking level. Till that point of time, hold your long positions with a supportive level. As per stock specific, we expect 2 to 3 stocks which looks positive. First one is Bharti Airtel, second one is AB Capital, and third one is NBCC. These three counter looks positive, as we have seen major OI positions getting added up in yesterday's trading session. So keep watch on these three counter. Thank you.
Good morning. Uh, Yesterday, Anand Rathi Wealth came out with results. The company's IPO was there recently. Quarter-on-quarter increase in revenue, EBITDA and profits was at 4%, 2% and 5%, which was kind of okayish. ROE although was healthy at 40%, and stock is trading at 21 times Q3 annualized earnings, which we feel is in line with earnings growth expected in the long term of around 20 odd percent. So such kind of stocks can be bought during market correction when there is a steep decline. Otherwise, one can expect 20% kind of increase in stock price on a consistent basis. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank Q3 update also has come. So that was neutral. Overall, on the face of it, prima facie, it appears to be positive. Advances grew by 22% YOY and 15% QOQ. Disbursements reached their highest ever levels at 4,800 crores. Collection efficiency also showed improvement in December month at 97% versus 94-95% in October and November. GNPA also came down slightly to 10, still, although it remains high at 10.5% compared to September quarter 11.8%. But on asset quality front, it has improved mainly because of higher disbursements and not because of actual improvement in recoveries. Disbursement in Q3 forms almost 30% of total loans. So if we exclude the disbursement, then and then see the asset quality has not improved. Also, we feel some of the disbursements could be towards existing customers who do not have the capacity to pay back their EMIs, so which we call as evergreening. So we remain cautious over here, and better to remain cautious. The new MD also joined in the month of December, so October, November, they were finding new MD, and despite of top management not being very much there for the business, still they managed to do such high disbursement, which also raises some doubts. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, Godrej Consumer came out with the business update for the quarter. Though we knew many of the things in the recently conducted in the analyst meet. So what the management is saying, the same is what they reiterated in the analyst meet. At consolidated level, the company expects to deliver a second consecutive quarter of close to low double-digit sales growth. India is expected to deliver second consecutive quarter of close to low double-digit sales growth, driven by higher than mid-single-digit volume growth. International, I'm so sorry. Just give me a minute, please. I'll continue with Titan. Please ignore that for the time being. Yeah, so Titan came out with the business update and results, and the update was quite positive. The company witnessed strong demand across all the consumer businesses, and at a standalone basis, expect to clock 36% growth, mainly driven by jewelry, which was which has seen the buoyancy on the basis of the wedding season, which was one of the best wedding seasons in the last few years. And that is why the jewelry segment actually saw a revenue growth of 37%. The company continues to gain market share in jewelry and has opened 14 new stores on net basis for the division. This time, the Titan has seen growth across all the regions and all the divisions. That is why even the watches and wearables saw growth of 28% during the quarter. Even eyewear saw 27% growth for the quarter, and they've opened 53 new stores for the eyewear. The other businesses, which includes the skin, the fragrance, and the sari business, that is Taneira, the business grew by 44%. And even the CaratLane has seen a good growth of 64%. So overall, the Titan expected to do well in today's trade. However, the only concern remains the valuations, which are trading at 86 times for FY 23. So that is on the higher side, but at least for today, we expect that company would be able to do good business in today's trade. Coming back to consumers, the overall outlook was actually negative because of the unprecedented cost inflation and poor Indonesia business performance, which resulted in low volume growth and high price growth. This would lead to a loss of gross margins and EBITDA margins for the quarter. For India, the company expects to close to deliver high single-digit sales growth. And international business, I said, Indonesia is expected to decline. However, the Africa, US, and Middle East division are expected to continue the growth momentum. So overall, for Godrej Consumer, we expect negative reaction and Titan for positive. However, Godrej Consumer would be limited because the street already knows everything which was supposed to be uh, conveyed in this regard. Thank you.
Good morning. NCL Industries came out with its volume numbers for the quarter three. Cement production for the quarter came at 561,000 ton, down by 21% sequentially and 11% year on year. Whereas cement dispatches stood at 558,000 ton, down by 18% sequentially and 11% year on year. This is negative for the company. Thank you.
Yeah, apart from that, Microtech has come up with quarterly pre-sales numbers, and numbers are good. Numbers has come at 2,600 crores pre-sales in the quarter, which is up by around 30% quarter on quarter and around 40% year on year. So that is quite positive for Microtech developer. Apart from that, HFCL has announced that they had employed 3 high-profile people for different businesses. That is international business. They will be focusing a lot, where they had appointed a senior vice president, and apart from that, they had appointed one person for EPC also, and one person for the R&D capability as well. So this may act positive for HFCL. Apart from that, Hinduja Global has announced yesterday 1:1 bonus and rupees 150 as a dividend per share as interim dividend. Then result on next Tuesday. All the 3 major companies are announcing results on Tuesday. That is Infosys, TCS, and Wipro. Infosys is likely to report around 3.9% quarter-on-quarter constant currency growth, which is positive considering that December month is generally has a furloughs or holidays in few days of the last December week. So considering that 3.9% quarter-on-quarter CC growth is commanding. And apart from that, margins are not showing any great up move because of the increasing cost of the fresh employee and increase in salary that companies are giving in between as well. So EBITDA margin quarter on quarter are likely to remain same or marginally increase, but year on year the EBITDA margin will be less by around 150 basis point. Last time same quarter company has reported EBITDA of around 25.2 and that is likely to come at around 23.6. So results are likely to be good. Valuations are at around 31 times FY23 earning, which is comparatively better earning. In fact, Infosys, which had given guidance for the yearly earning, is also likely to up the guidance in this quarter as well. Similar is the case with TCS, though the revenue will be growing at a bit lesser than Infosys. Here the CC revenue growth is expected at around 3.1%. And similar is the case with the margin. Margins are likely to remain similar as compared to previous quarter or marginally increased by around 20-30 basis points. And from last year, it will be lower by around 70 basis points. And the share is trading at around 32.5 times PE FY23. Wipro is likely to show CC growth of around 4.1%. And EBITDA margins are likely to remain same as last quarter. In fact, a company has acquired one company around 2 quarters back, and because of that, and that was a loss-making company, and that because of that, the EBITDA margin declined sharply from last year of around 21.2%. And these margins are likely to remain low at current point of time. Company is trying to turn around that company, and if we start getting reflection of the turnaround and see improvement in margin, then the stock can perform. So key thing to watch for Wipro is whether the margin comes superior than what is expected. So Wipro again is likely to report good numbers, and valuations are at around 28.5 times FY23 earning. So results are likely to be good, and we had already seen that most of the IT company has already moved up ahead of results in expectation of these good numbers. Now, performance in the futures will depend on how these companies outperform their results or underperform. So that's all from us. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.